Hi everyone! Today I want to talk about something I get asked about all the time, especially by painters who want to attend workshops or paint abroad. How do you actually travel with oil paints on an airplane? It sounds intimidating at first, but once you understand a few basic rules, it's honestly very manageable. I've traveled many times with my painting gear, both domestically and internationally, and over time I've developed a system that keeps everything safe and TSA friendly. First, let's talk about what I keep in my carry-on. My palette always comes with me on the plane. Mine has a glass surface, so I carry it in my backpack or carry-on suitcase where I know it won't get crushed. I also bring my Reusable wet panel carriers. These are incredibly useful because they hold blank panels securely on the way there and wet paintings safely on the way home. So I have here one of my Reusable panel carriers. This is an 8x16. I absolutely love this size because you can fit anything that has an 8-inch width in it. So 6x8, 8x8, 8x10, and 8x16. Very versatile. Love this size. Brushes can also go in your carry-on without any problem. What I don't bring through security are palette knives or scrapers. I personally use a razor scraper, which definitely belongs in checked luggage. Now, oil paints themselves are where people get nervous. If you want to bring paints in your carry-on, most tubes actually fall under the TSA liquid limit of 3.4 ounces. You can place them in a clear Ziploc bag and label it Artist Oil Colors. The important thing is that they are traditional oil paints, not alkyd-based or anything flammable. Standard oils are generally fine because they're not considered hazardous in that form. Personally, I usually pack my paints in checked luggage using a dedicated paint carrier, something designed to keep tubes organized and protected, and then if they leak a little bit, they don't get on the rest of your luggage. Next is your easel setup, which can make or break travel convenience. Some locations, Cabo being one example, don't allow tripods in carry-on luggage. So if your setup depends on a tripod, plan to check it. I use a Manfrotto Bee-Free tripod with all of my plein air systems. My favorite travel painting setups are the Fly on the Wall and the Day Tripper, both by Prolific Painter. Both of them are lightweight and designed for mobility. I also love the Sketchbook easel from Edge Pro. It's a bit more of an investment, but incredibly versatile. Just be aware that there are built-in magnets and sometimes those get flagged at airport security, so allow a little extra time. Now, if you want to avoid checking a tripod entirely, a small table easel can work beautifully on a table or even on your lap. But I personally prefer the setup that involves a tripod so that I can choose to stand if I want to. There are also a few small items I always pack because they can be surprisingly hard to find once you arrive. I bring plenty of my own paper towels. I bring cling wrap to cover my palette between sessions, a reusable trash bag, a hat or several hats, and an empty terp jar. I love this tip from one of my friends. You can take off individual sheets of cling wrap and just crumple them up and throw those in your pack, and you can undo it for when you need to cover up your palette later. Saves a lot of space. I also pack individually wrapped alcohol pads. They're incredibly useful for quickly cleaning your palette, especially a glass one, without needing any solvent. And if you paint with gloves, bring a supply of rubber gloves as well, since those aren't always easy to find once you arrive. Now, solvents are the big question everyone asks. You generally don't travel with solvent on a plane, right? It's flammable. Instead, if you're attending a workshop or retreat like the ones I lead, the host typically provides odorless mineral spirits. Otherwise, you can ship supplies ahead of time or plan to stop at a local art or hardware store once you arrive. Every country has painters, which means every country has painting supplies somewhere. And if you want something to help paint dry faster while traveling, walnut oil is a great option because it's natural and non-flammable. Gamblin also makes a solvent-free gel, and that's another excellent travel-friendly choice. At the end of the day, traveling with oils is less about packing everything and more about packing thoughtfully. Once you dial in a system, it becomes surprisingly easy. In my experience, traveling to paint is one of the most rewarding things you can give yourself as an artist, and hopefully this makes the logistics feel a little less mysterious. So I hope you'll join me on one of my next painting adventures.